to episode 1105 of the Multifamily Collective. Today I wanted to talk about the sins of omission. But before I do that, I wanted to remind everybody to head over to MultifamilyCollective.com, sign up for our weekly newsletter. It comes out every Friday. 4 or 5 bullet points of things that I think are germane to the multifamily space, but either broadly speaking or more specifically speaking. It's a very cool newsletter, and the subscription rate is going through the roof. So sign up today. Wanted to talk about sins of omission. This is something that I think is germane to every single business operator and team members that work for operators across this great country, across the world, frankly. You get in circumstances where you don't wake up with the intent, or you don't go into a meeting with the intent to misinform anybody. Sometimes, certainly that does happen, but I think many times the sins happen, right? The lack of information being communicated happens because of omission, right? You leave out critical pieces of information that would be useful in terms of informing others in making decisions. And by doing so, you've committed a sin in the sense that sometimes those decisions or those outcomes that happen as a result of that information coming into a system turns out bad because we omitted a very critical piece of information. I don't believe in my heart of hearts that happens, let's say 90% of the time that doesn't happen intentionally. 90% of the times that happens because we just simply forget, or we just simply, in the heat of the moment, don't do it. For whatever reason, call it fear, call it lack of true and pure understanding of what we're talking about, but it happens. And so my encouragement to everybody, inclusive of myself, because this happens to me regularly, write down all the critical and key points that you need to communicate either through email or in-person meetings or in walking around with other team members. If you're doing site visits, if you're in the multifamily space, write down all the key points, and then make sure you go through the exercise of actually talking about the points. There are times you write down all the points, and then you try to prioritize them in terms of the energy in the room, right? Well, if it's a good day and everybody seems to be on a good level playing field, I'll introduce all 5. And if it's not, maybe I'll do 3. Or maybe I start out with the easiest things first and save all the hard ones until the last, and what happens is you run out of time, right? Or you run out of the energy in the room, sort of dissipates, and then you don't introduce the 2 things that were probably the key components in making decisions. So my encouragement to you today is to share every bullet point every time, and prepare ahead of time before walking into a room or getting into a meeting situation or sitting down to write an email. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.